18 Crochet Along, where we bring you one granny square a day for 365 days. We are on day 62, and this square is called Snowdrops and Butterflies. You're going to need 3 colors for this, and we are going to be changing color every single round. This is what it looks like. As you can see, it's pretty detailed, pretty intricate. It's actually fairly easy. Excuse the pink, I know it doesn't do well on the camera here, but I just gotta get rid of all this yarn. I even use a little bit of ugly yarn as usual for my swatches. But anyway, this pattern suggests that you use a 4mm hook instead of the 4.5 that we suggest. We did take out the last round in the pattern using a 4mm hook just so we could get it to our 6x6 inch standards that we use for this pattern, or for our squares, excuse me. So anyway, you do not have to drop your hook if you don't want to, but your square will not come out to your normal size if you do not drop your hook down. Also, if you would like to go off the original pattern, those options will be available in the actual pattern posted on the page. So go ahead, let's get started for March, our number 62nd square. So you're going to join with, or start with color A, and you're going to be making a magic ring. You can chain 4 for this, but really you want it really tight, because that's how you're going to get your puff stitches to puff, and you're going to get this center to really pop out. As you can see here, it's 3D, so we want to make sure that this pops. So magic ring is the preferred method for this square. I know normally I do magic ring, but for this square it is preferred. You can chain 4 and join with a slip stitch to form your ring if you prefer, but I can't promise that your center will be really tight. So anyway, chain 2, and then you're going to work 15 more half double crochets into your circle. Your chain 2 does count as your first half double crochet, so work 15 more until you have 16 all together. And when I have 16 half double crochet in my circle, I will get back with you and we will begin round number 2. Okay, so I've worked 16 half double crochets into my ring. I've pulled my string tight so then my stitches are very close together. And now you're going to join with a slip stitch into your beginning chain 2 into the second chain, and you're going to chain 1 after you make your slip stitch, chain 1, and now you're going to work a 3 yarn over puff stitch into the same space where we just joined. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, that's 1, pull up a loop, that's 2, pull up a loop, that's 3. Go through, yarn over, pull through all the stitches on your hook, and chain 1. Skip 1 half double crochet and make another 3 yarn over puff stitch into the next stitch. So there's 1, yarn over, insert your hook, 2, and 3. Pull through all the stitches on your hook. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and again do another puff stitch. Repeat this series all the way around until you have, let me look at my paperwork here, 8 puff stitches. When you have 8 puff stitches, I will get back to you and we can go on to the next round. As you can see, I've worked 8 puff stitches all the way around. Now we're going to join with a slip stitch into our beginning puff stitch. Alright. Now you're going to cut a long tail, because now we're going to weave our yarn through all those chain 1 spaces, making it pop up like this. So you can take a needle and do this, or you can do it the way I'm going to do it, which is with my hook. So find the chain 1 spaces in between your puff stitches, and you're just going to grab your yarn here and pull it through, go to the next one, pull it through, find the next chain 1 space, pull it through, and do this until you get all the way around, back to where you're beginning. And then there's my last chain 1 space. And now you're going to pull it. Now you don't want it too tight, because you still have to work into these chain 1 spaces on this next round. So grab your next color. Alright, with your next color, make sure you have a beginning chain on it, and you're going to find any chain 1 space that you want, and you're going to join and make a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to slip stitch into the same space that you joined into, and then you're going to chain 2. You're going to skip over your puff stitch and work into the next chain 1 space, a slip stitch, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch back into that same space, chain 2. Skip over the next puff and work a slip stitch into the next chain space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, slip stitch into the same space, chain 2. Skip over the next puff, slip stitch in the next chain 1 space, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch back into it. Repeat this all the way around until you have 8 chain 3 spaces and 8 chain 2 spaces. Cut your yarn, and we will begin with our next color. Okay, so you should have worked around having 8 chain 3 spaces and 8 chain 2 spaces. You should finish off with a chain 2, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain 1 space. Now you're going to cut your yarn like I did, and this is what it looks like. And now we're going to begin our new color in any chain 3 space that you want, from the last round that we just did, and you're going to join with the chain 3 or a standing double crochet. As always, I do a standing double crochet, and you're going to work double crochet clusters. So if you chained 3, you're going to work 2 double crochet clusters. If you did a standing double crochet, you're only going to draw through the first 2 loops. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain 3 space, pull up a loop, pull through 2. This goes for the chain 3 as well. Okay, yarn over, insert your hook into the same chain 3 space, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through all 4 stitches. If you had chain 3, then it should be 2 stitches, or 3 stitches, I'm sorry. And there's your first cluster, double crochet cluster. Now you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to work 3 double crochet cluster into the next chain 3 space. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, insert your hook into the same space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And 1 more, so yarn over, insert your hook into the same space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You should have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain 4. And again, in the next chain 3 space, make a 3 double crochet cluster. That's 2, and that makes 3. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat this around in all chain 3 spaces. Don't forget to chain 4 in between your double crochet clusters. And I'm going to do this when I have 8 double crochet clusters and 8 chain 4 spaces, and then we will cut our yarn and begin the next round, which will be round 5. Okay, so you should have finished with a chain 4 and joined with a slip stitch into your beginning double crochet cluster here, and cut your yarn. And now you're going to start with your new color. We are going to be working single crochet, so go ahead and get a begin chain on your hook, and you're going to join into any chain 4 space that you want to join into, and you're going to work 1 single crochet. Now you're going to work a front post treble crochet into the chain 2 space that we skipped in the previous round. When we worked our clusters here, we chained 4 over the chain 2 spaces. So now we're going to put a front, or she calls it a front post treble crochet, but really it's just a treble crochet, and you're going to pull your work back from the last round to make your treble crochet here. So that's yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you're going to work a single crochet back into the chain 4 space, and then work another treble into the skipped chain 2 space. So pull your work back, insert your hook into the chain 2 space, and work your treble crochet. Okay, work a single crochet into the chain 4 space, the same chain 4 space that we've been working into, and place another treble crochet back into the chain 2 space that we skipped. The same one. Okay, now you're going to put 1 more single crochet into that chain 4 space. Then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to work a front post half double crochet around the double crochet cluster that we worked in the last round. So yarn over, insert your hook between, come from behind, bring it back out, yarn over, pull up a loop, and finish off as a normal half double crochet. Chain 1. Work a front post treble crochet into the skip chain 2 space from the 3rd round. Oops, I'm starting as a double here. We're doing a treble. So there we go. And now you're going to work a single crochet into the chain 4 space here. Work a treble crochet back into that same chain 2 space that we just started in. And work a single crochet back into the chain 4 space, and then work 1 more treble crochet into the chain 2 space, and put 1 more single crochet into the chain 4 space. Chain 1, work a front post half double crochet around the next cluster. Chain 1, work a treble crochet into the next chain 2 space from round 3 that we skipped, and you're going to repeat this process all the way around. If you need to slow it down, remember in the upper right hand corner of the screen is a option for you to do that. You can pause, you can rewind, all that good stuff is available for you right there. I'm trying to work my ends in here because I really don't like to sew them in. I don't think anybody really does, but anyway. Single crochet into the chain 4, work a treble crochet back into that chain 2 space, and then a single crochet into the chain 4, and then another treble into the chain 2 space. And then a single crochet into the chain 4. Chain 1, front post, half double crochet around the cluster, and then chain 1. All right, so repeat that all the way around. This is what it's starting to look like here. Repeat what we just did all the way around, and when you are done you should have 8 sets. Each 3 treble crochets considered a set, so work 8 sets. You should have 8 sets of treble crochets into the chain 3 from round 3 that we skipped, and you should have 8 half double crochets and 16 chain 1 spaces. Okay, you're going to join into your beginning front post treble crochet, not the single crochet that we started back here, but the front post treble. You'll join with a slip stitch in there and cut your yarn. When I've completed this round, I will get back with you. Okay, so you should have finished off with a front post half double crochet into your double crochet cluster and then a chain 1, joining with a slip stitch into the beginning front post treble crochet. And that should have gave you 8 sets of front post treble crochets and 8 half double crochets and 16 chain 1 spaces. You should have cut your yarn, and now you're going to join back with color A, and you're going to join into the front post treble crochet, or I'm sorry, you're going to join into the treble crochet after chain 1. I keep saying front post because I wrote it down as front post, but it's really not a front post, so excuse me there. All right, so you're going to find where you made a front post half double crochet, which just so happens to be right here, and then you're going to join into the first treble crochet after your front post half double crochet, and you're going to join with a slip stitch and then a chain 1. Now you're going to work a puff stitch into the same space, and you're going to make it just like we did before with the 3 yarn overs into the space. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and now you're going to chain 2. You're going to work another puff stitch into the next front post, not the single crochet stitch that we worked in the back, but the front post itself. So find your second front post, and you're going to work a puff stitch into it. 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Chain 2, and work another puff into the next front post. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to skip over the chain 1, the front post half double crochet, and the next chain 1, and you're going to work a puff stitch into the next treble crochet, not the single crochet but the treble. So find your treble and work into that stitch a puff stitch. 1, 2, 3, pull through all the loops on your hook, chain 2, work a puff stitch into the next treble. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, and work one more puff into the last treble crochet. 2, 3, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to repeat this all the way around. Work a puff stitch. You're going to skip over the chain 1, the front post half double crochet, and the chain 1, and you're going to work a puff stitch in the next 3 treble crochets. Be sure to chain 2 after each puff, and then work another puff, chain 2, work another puff. The last puff that you work in the 3, you will chain 3 so you can skip over the next section. If you need to rewind or pause or slow it down, please feel free to. All those options are available for you. And when you are finished with this round, you should have 24 puff stitches and 8 chain 3 spaces, and then we will start round 7 after this. Okay, so when I've completed everything, I have 24 puff stitches and 8 chain 3 spaces. Now you're going to cut your yarn. You should have finished off with a chain 3 and a join with the slip stitch into your beginning puff stitch right there. Now you're going to cut your yarn, and you're going to join with color D. For me, it's the dark color here, or the darker green, I should say. And you're going to join into a chain 3 space, any chain 3 space that you want to join into. You can join with a slip stitch and chain 3, or join with a standing double crochet. I'm doing a standing double. And then we're going to work 2 more double crochets into that same space. Now we're going to work 1 treble crochet into the same space, and then we're going to chain 3. Work in the same space a treble crochet, and work 3 double crochets into the same space. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to chain 3. Now, if you flip your work around, I should say. Remember the chain 4 spaces that we worked into back here? We're going to be working our single crochets into these chain 4 spaces right here. So if you turn your work back right side facing, let me pull this out here. You see we have our 3 treble crochets that we worked. If you pull it down, we worked into that that chain 4 space with our single crochets. We're going to be working right back into it, right into the middle of the 3rd single crochet. You can see I have, let me spread my stitches here, 1, 2, 3 single crochets from when we worked our 3 treble crochets. So when we go to make our next stitch, we're going to work straight in between that stitch like that with a single crochet. Okay, so you've chained 3. And now you're just going to pull your work down, and you're going to find the middle, the 2nd single crochet, and you're going to work a single crochet into it. Just like that. Okay, chain 3. Now you're going to work a front post half double crochet around the next front post half double crochet. The front post half double crochet right here from round 4 that we made, we're going to work a front post half double crochet around it. So we're not even going to, we're going to skip these 3 puff stitches in this chain space, this chain 3 space, and we're just going to work a front post half double crochet around it. Or I'm sorry, front post half double crochet, not a double crochet, front post half double crochet. And then you're going to chain 3. And then you're going to single crochet again behind our 3 treble crochets here. So if you pull your work down, look for your 2nd single crochet in that chain 4 space that we worked into, and you're going to work a single crochet into it. And then you're going to chain 3. Now you're going to, in the next chain 3 space here, so we're going to skip these 3 puffs, and then in the next chain 3 space, we're going to work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 treble crochet into the same space. Chain 3, and now you're going to work a treble crochet into the same space, and 3 double crochets into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Chain 3, and then again we're going to work into that 2nd single crochet on the chain 4 space from behind. Chain 3, bring our work back up, find the front post half double crochet from 2 rounds back, and we're going to work another front post half double crochet right around it. You're going to chain 3, and you're going to pull your work down, because now we're going to work into that single crochet back here on round 4, and then you're going to chain 3. And this is what it's looking like so far. Okay, now repeat this around. In your next chain 3 space, you're going to work 3 double crochet, 1 treble, chain 3, 1 treble, 3 double crochet, chain 3, single crochet into the back, chain 3, front post half double crochet into the front around the front post from 2 rounds back, chain 3, single crochet again into the back, and then in your next chain 3 space, work your corner here, just like that. I will get back to you when I have completed this all the way around to my beginning. You will join with a slip stitch into your beginning double crochet or chain 3. If you did the chain 3, then you would join into the top of your chain 3. Okay, so now we're on to round 8. You're going to change to your color C, and you're going to join with a slip stitch into the chain space before our front post half double crochet right here from 2 rounds back, not the chain 3 back here, but we had this chain space right here. We're going to work into that. We're going to join with a slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to skip over our front post half double crochet, and we're going to put a slip stitch into that chain space as well. Not the one in the back, but the one on the other side there. Now you're going to chain 3. And you're going to work a front post half double crochet around all of the double crochets and the treble crochets. So 1 front post half double crochet, find your next double crochet and work a front post half double crochet around it. The next one, and then find the treble there and work a front post half double crochet around it. And now you're going to chain 3, 2, 3. Now you're going to work a front post half double crochet around the next set of treble and doubles. Just like that. Chain 3 and work a slip stitch into the chain space from 2 rounds back before the front post double crochet. Chain 3, skip over the front post, work into the same chain space but on the other side of it. You may have to move your front post around to find it. And you're going to work a slip stitch. Chain 3. Now you're going to work a front post half double crochet around your stitches of this corner here. This is our temporary corner for right now. And then you're going to chain 3 and then work front post right down the other side here. Okay, one more, and then you're going to chain 3 and repeat all of this all over again. So chain 3, work a slip stitch into the space before the half double crochet on 2 rounds back. Then you're going to chain 3, work over it, and slip stitch into the over onto the other side there. Chain 3, work your front post, chain 3, work your front post, continue all the way around. And then you're going to join with a slip stitch into the first chain space here where we first began. You're going to work a slip stitch into that, cut your yarn, and then we will start round number 9. Alright, so we've completed. You should have finished off with a chain 3 and then joined with a slip stitch into the beginning space here. Now you're going to go back to color A, and you're going to join into the chain 3 space above our front post half double crochets that we made. Not the chain 3 here or the chain 3 here or this one, but the one directly over our front post half double crochet that we made there. Okay, you're going to join with a slip stitch in chain 3 or a standing double crochet, whatever your preference may be. And then you're going to work double crochet clusters. So if you're doing a chain 3, work 2 double crochet clusters into the same space. If you're doing a standing double crochet, work only through your first 2 and then continue to finish out your double crochet, your last 2 double crochet clusters. Okay, pull through all 4 and then you're going to chain 3. In the same space, you're going to work another 3 double crochet clusters. 1, 2, 3. Pull through all 4. Now you're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is your new corner from here on out. All of where we're going to be working into the chain 3 spaces, those will all be your new corners. Work another 3 double crochet cluster into the same space. Chain 3. And one more 3 double crochet cluster into the same space. And now you're going to chain 2. Now you're going to work in between your front post half double crochets, not into the stitches, but in between them. You're going to be working 2 yarn over puff stitches and then a chain 1 after each. So go ahead, get in between your first front post half double, pull up 1, pull up 2, pull through all the stitches or all the loops on your hook, chain 1. In between the next 2 front posts, work a 2 yarn over puff stitch, chain 1, and between the last 2, do a 2 puff, not a 3, a 2, and then you're going to chain 2. Skip over all these here, and in between the next stitch, you're going in the next 2 front post half double crochet, you're going to work your yarn over front posts. Yarn over puff stitches with a chain 1 in between. So there's 1, 2, chain 1, 1, 2, chain 1. Oh, I'm sorry. We are actually chaining 2 after that one. After the last puff, make sure to chain 2, not chain 1. Okay, now we're going to skip over all this, and we're going to work 3 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 3 double crochet cluster, chain 4, 3 double crochet cluster, chain 3, 3 double crochet cluster, all into that same space right there. So 1, 2, 3, chain 3, another cluster into the same space, 1, 2, 3, chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more sets of double crochet clusters with the chain 3 in between. So here's one set, chain 3, and one more set of clusters into the same space, 2 and 3. Okay, chain 2. I forgot to pick up that yarn back there. Okay, so now you're going to do what we just did over here with the 2 yarn over puffs, and you're going to work them in between your stitches here. So 1 and 2. Chain 1 in between the next 2, 1, 2, chain 1, and in between the next 2, 1, 2, chain 2, and work into the next set of front posts. You're going to work yarn overs, 1, 2, chain 1, work in between the next 2, 1, 2, chain 1, and into the last one, 1, 2, chain 2, and repeat everything that we just did. So start your next cluster of double crochet clusters into the chain 3 space. If you need to rewind or slow it down, please feel free. Those options are available there for you. And when I've completed round 9, I will get back to you and we will start round 10. Be sure to join with a slip stitch into your beginning double crochet cluster and cut your yarn because we'll be changing color again. Okay, so you should have worked all the way around, ending with a chain 2 slip stitching into your beginning cluster. Now you're going to cut your yarn, join with color D, and you're going to join into any chain 4 space. Those are our new corners now. All these chain 4 spaces. Right here, right here, right here, and right here. These are our new corners now, okay? So you're going to join into any one of those that you choose, and you can join the slip stitch, chain 2, or you can do a standing half double crochet, whatever floats your boat. And there we go. Okay. And now you're going to work into the same space 3 more half double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to work a front post half double crochet around the next cluster. Now you're going to work 3 half double crochets into the next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. Now you're going to work a front post half double crochet around your next cluster. Now you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is going to go behind your, we'll call it a fan. It's what it looks like to me. You're going to work a front post half double crochet around this next cluster. I know I said it goes behind, but it's easier for me to work a front post this way, and then we'll move our chain 6 back behind there. Okay? Now you're going to work 3 half double crochet into the next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3. Work a front post half double crochet around the next cluster. Work 4 half double crochet in the chain 4 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a front post half double crochet around the next cluster, and 3 half double crochets into the chain 3 space, a front post half double crochet around the next cluster, and now you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you're going to repeat all this all the way around. So work a front post half double crochet around your next cluster. And then work 3 half double crochet in the chain 3, a front post half double crochet, 4 half double crochet, a front post half double crochet, 3 half double crochets, front post half double crochet, chain 6. Make sure that your chain 6 goes behind your fan there, okay? So rewind it if you need to, and I will get back with you when I finish the round, and we will begin round 11 with a new color. Oh, be sure to, when you get around here, after you've worked your chain 6, you're going to work your front post half double, 3 half double crochets, and end with a front post half double crochet. Join with the slip stitch into your beginning half double crochet, okay? And then we'll start round 11, and we will be changing colors again. Okay, so round 11, you're going to change to color C. You're going to join with 2 half double crochets in between the 4 half double crochet corners. Remember, these aren't our corners anymore. These are our corners. So you're going to spread the 2 apart, and you're going to work in between the 2, and you're going to work 2 on this beginning corner. So you can begin with a chain 2, that will count as your half double crochet, or you can do a standing half double crochet, whatever your preference may be. But you're going to work 2 half double crochet into in between these 2 here. Now you're going to work 1 half double crochet into the next 6 stitches, and you may have to pull your work to the side to find that hidden stitch there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you're going to work a front post half double crochet around the front post half double crochet, and now you're going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you're going to work a front post half double crochet around the next front post half double crochet. So skip all the way over our fan here. We're going to skip over that, and we're going to work directly into the front post half double crochet here. And then you're going to work 1 half double crochet into the next 6 stitches. Be sure to pull your front post out of the way to find the hidden stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you're going to spread your corner 4 stitches apart to find the center here, and you're going to work 4 half double crochets into the center between those 2 stitches. 2, 3, and 4. And move your work out of the way so you can find the hidden stitch, and you're going to work 1 half double crochet into the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and work a front post half double crochet around the front post half double crochet here. And then chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and work a front post half double crochet around the next front post half double crochet, skipping over our fan area there. You're going to repeat these steps that we just did here all the way around, being sure to pull apart the corner 4 half double crochet and working 4 into it, and you're going to have to pull them off to the side to find the stitch to work in it, as it does count as your 1 of 6 when working the next 6. So work all the way around. Don't forget your front post half double crochet, 1 half double crochet in the next 6, and then spread your work, and where we began you're going to put 2 more half double crochets in there, join with a slip stitch, cut your yarn, and we will be joining with color A, and I will get back to you when I finish round 11, and we will begin round number 12. Okay, so now that we're done with round 11, you slip stitched into your beginning half double crochet. Now you're going to go and find a corner and spread apart those 4 stitches again, and you're going to join with color A, and you're going to work 3 single crochets into the space between those 4 half double crochet. So work 3 single crochets into that space. 1, 2, 3. Now work 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. And you may have to spread your work there to find the stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now work a front post single crochet around the front post half double crochet, and you're going to work 4 single crochets onto the chain 9. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Spread it back a little bit, because now you're going to remember our old corner. We left all those chain spaces right there. You remember back here, you can see we have all these unworked chain spaces plus this chain 6 here. You're going to gather all of those chains up, every single one of them. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, including this one. Will make 5 chain spaces, and you're just going to insert your hook and make a single crochet, bunching them all together. Okay, now you're going to work 4 single crochet into the rest of the chain 9, and you're going to work a front post single crochet around the front post half double, and then you're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now you're going to work 3 single crochets in between the 4 half double crochets in the corner here. So you're going to have to spread them apart, find it, and you're going to work 3 single crochets into it. 1, 2, and 3. Now you're going to work 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Work a front post single crochet around the front post half double crochet, and then the chain 9, you're going to pull it up and you're going to work 4 single crochet into it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Move your stitches back. Grab all those leftover chain spaces that we left behind when working around. We're going to pick them all up that are in this corner. So remember, there should be 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Grab them all together, insert your hook, and make a single crochet. Just like that, pulling it all together. Now you're going to work 4 single crochet across the rest of your chain 9. 3 and 4. Now work a front post single crochet around the front post half double crochet and work 1 single crochet into the next 8 stitches. 3 single crochet in between the 4 corner half doubles, and then 1 single crochet in the next 8 stitches, and then 4 single crochet into your chain 9. Grab up all those leftover chain spaces and make a single crochet. Repeat this all the way around until you get back to your beginning here, and you'll join with the slip stitch into your beginning single crochet. And when I have done that, I will get back with you. Alright everybody, so you should have finished, joined with a slip stitch into your beginning single crochet there, and this is what it looks like. And this is number 62, Snowdrops and Butterflies. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you're not in our crochet along, the link to our crochet along on Facebook is in the description below, where you can find our charts and our patterns as well, except for our YouTube bonus squares. Those are specifically targeted for our YouTube viewers. If you need the pattern, we do not have a pattern for it, so it is exclusive to our YouTube channel. So anyway, there's number 62, Snowdrops and Butterflies. Until next time, happy hooking.